Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am super excited to show you this one today. This is the Cheerson Tiny 117 mini FPV racing drone kit. You have to build this one yourself, but this one took me under 30 minutes to build, and I'm excited about this one for a lot of reasons. Number one, this one's running on 2S. I don't have a micro yet that has 2S on it, and I was really excited to kind of try this out for you and for myself to see how this one was going to FPV. And with tri-props and 2S and an F3 flight controller on here, I put the rates up to about 70.70 on all axes, and it flipped super quick, and it seemed to not drop a lot like some of the other micros out there. You lose a lot of hang time and air time. You get low to the ground after a flip. So this one seemed to have decent power with those 10mm motors on here. I don't have any other micro quad that in my collection so far that has 10mm, so I was excited to experiment with this for you. Also have this trusty FX798T camera on here, which a lot of guys like. This seems to be the newer version of one, because this one has 700 TVL. I believe the older ones have 600, so a little better camera resolution on this one. Hooks right up to your Fat Sharks or some of your other 5.8 gigahertz video transmission goggles receivers. So also on the back you have USB port for hooking up to Clean Flight. You can change your rates and your PIDs in here. When you put this board on, after you solder up all your connections, make sure that you don't forget to solder up this tab in the very back. These two tabs have to be bridged for it to run on 2S. So very important. Look at the schematic here on the screen. I'll add this schematic for this board. It's a little mini F3 EVO, and don't forget to bridge that tab. Very important. Now it's really easy to hook this up. You don't have 3 motor wires on these brushed motors, you only have 2. The back rear motor is going to be a red and blue wire. Your red wire is going to be your 5-volt or your positive wire, and the blue wire is going to be your negative wire. So you have a 2S battery on here. This is a 600 milliamp. You also get 2 sets of props, these little micro tri-props, and you get a USB charger for that 2S battery. So give yourself a full charge on that, and you probably get like 6 to 7 minutes flight time if you're really pushing the throttle, really doing a lot of boosts and flips and rolls. They say that you can get around 8 minutes with this one. If you are just kind of casually cruising around doing some FPV, that would probably be likely. But you can put any receiver on this. It doesn't come with a receiver. It runs PPM, SBus, or PWM, so variety of different receivers, including a DSMX on here as well. So I ran mine out the top here with a little piece of heat shrink and a zip tie. And there's plenty of room up inside this cage. You have 1.5mm on the bottom. It's a unibody style frame, and 1mm carbon cage on the very top. And this little receiver, I would say I got video transmission out to about around half a football field to a football field away before it started to get fuzzy. I went really high up in the air and it didn't seem to lose any video. It was actually really nice on my fat sharks. So the ease of building this one, I would say this is pretty easy. If you're just getting into this and you want to try out your own build, this would be a fun one to build for someone that's new. You want to have a pretty small tip on your soldering iron. I use something like this. It's a super fine tip to do these little motor wires on this flight controller. You don't want to put a really big tip on your soldering iron when you're building this one, but this one has a lot of wins for me. It's a little heavier, so it flies a little better outdoors. You can fly it indoors, but once you flip into acro, this thing is super fast. So just be careful flying it indoors in acro, because you will definitely hit the wall and break some props. But I crashed it like multiple times out in the field, and you can see it's already been out there and been thrashed. Little dirt on the bottom here, but no broken props. And it's nice that it comes with 2 sets of props. And the price point on this one is decent. It's around $100, and add your own receiver. It's not too bad for what you get here with this one. But I guess my only gripe would be that the way I have my camera situated, you can really see a lot of the prop in the video, as you guys saw earlier in the flight test, but that's not the end of the world. And you don't need a lot of camera tilt on these micro cameras because they have a huge fisheye, so you don't need to worry about camera tilt. There is enough room here. If you want to, you could actually scoot it forward just a little bit and get a little more tilt if you're obsessed with that. But overall, the kit is pretty tight from Cheerson. I'm pretty impressed that Cheerson's come out with a micro that we can really get into in clean flight, change the rates and PID settings, and comes with a variety of different accessories, some extra rubber bands in the kit. This is your little prop remover tool, take the props on and off. I'm not 100% sure what these were, little rubber stickies that come along with it, and your lens cap there, but very easy to build. I'm having a lot of fun with these micros. We're starting to see a lot more of these on the channel now, and I really dig them. So I think you will too, and I really want to have 4 or 5 more batteries now so I can really get some flight time with this one. But this one's definitely staying in my collection. I love it, and it's pretty maneuverable. So I'd also like to see in the future that some of these companies will start to put these micro brushless motors on here, and that's what's next. That's what's coming up for you guys. Micro size, 75mm to 100mm size frames with mini brushless motors. We're going to start to see some serious power on micros in the next couple months, and 6 months to come. So it's going to get really fun. These things are getting super small and super fast, and this one is headed in the right direction with 10mm motors. So I got to give that 2 thumbs up for sure. But really cool design. It's kind of almost a definite true X here, and it is very maneuverable out in the field. So at 0.70 on all my rates, it really rolled snappy, and it seemed pretty tight with the stock PIDs. You don't really have to tinker around with the PIDs too much. But overall, I've got to say, I'm definitely going to keep this one. And I guess the range on this, if you want to talk about range, I'm not sure if I talked about range yet, but the range is around a football field, or to a half a football field away. It's going to be a close proximity racer, but I was going pretty high in the air and I didn't get a lot of fuzzy video. So it's a good video transmitter on here. I believe it's 5 bands on here, around 32 channels or more, so you can flip back and forth, and they are compatible with your Fat Sharks and Boscam goggles, so no big deal. Super cool little micro. You can check that out in the link below, guys. Thanks again for watching Drone Camps. Please do subscribe, because I get tons of new drones each week, and I get to show you what's on the cutting edge of drone tech. I'm Justin Davis. I'll see you on the next one.